What's up, everybody? Last week, we got the new season of Warzone Modern Warfare 3, Season 6. Earlier this week, I uploaded my top 5 loadouts, top 6. And yesterday, I put up my top 5 close-range options. Today, we're going opposite. We're going top 5 long-range non-sniper options. I think we all know what number 1's going to be. I think that's pretty obvious. But we're going to go ahead and run through the top 5, and then we'll just jump over to true game data really quick to show the different times to kill and all that. And before we do that, my Twitch is linked down below if you want to come join live. All my other socials are linked down below if you want to check any of those out, as well as true game data. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like this type of content, want to see it first, and comment down below what you think of my top 5 long range options. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I smart? Am I dumb? But let's go into these loadouts. So starting at number 5 is the Holger, but it's not the Holger 26 like it used to be. It's the Holger 556, which they've touched on and off throughout this throughout the last couple of seasons and mid-season updates. It's better time to kill wise than the Holger 26, which I thought about putting in this slot because the Holger 26 has more ammo, but the time to kill and the low recoil is still there, just like it is on the Holger 26. Better movement and all that, and I think the TTK is actually a little bit faster. We got the Quartermaster Suppressor, which is self-explanatory. We have the 40-round mag, it's the biggest mag, and then your choice of optic. Then we come down to the Kairos 6 match barrel. It's none of the barrels say long. It's a short barrel, a light barrel, and a short barrel, none of which give you bullet velocity, range, recoil control, or gun kick control. I don't think any of them do either of those three things. No. So it's the only one that helps you with long range. And then we have the MWIII Heavy Support Grip. This is a preference thing. We don't have anything really helping our firing aim stability on any of these attachments, which is why I went with the MWIII Heavy Support Grip, because it's so good at that. Plus, it strongly helps horizontal recoil, which is much harder to control. But the other option there is going for the RB Addle stock, which helps recoil control and gun kick control more overall, but doesn't help with that firing aim stability. You can also go with the Ascent Lord stock, but it doesn't help recoil that much at all. It's actually just gun kick control, hurts movement speed, and it does help the firing aim stability. But I go ahead and go with the MWIII Heavy under barrel, or the MWIII Heavy Support Grip under barrel, which has been tried and true for pretty much the whole time of Warzone 2 since we got Urzikstan. Sorry. Then we have the SVA, which just doesn't leave these lists but never takes over the top spot. Obviously, this is on burst mode. It kills really fast on the burst mode. They haven't touched it in forever, so it's just as good as it's been since like season 2 or 3. So the build's a little bit different because there is no recoil on burst mode. So we go with the Sonic Suppressor here instead of Quartermaster because it helps with the bullet velocity and the damage range, and it hurts recoil, but when there's no recoil on burst mode, it doesn't matter. Then we go with the SVT Precision Barrel, aim idle sway, bullet velocity, gun kick control, recoil control to help get that recoil down to nothing. I don't think there's another barrel that is even built for long range, just like on the Holger 556, and there isn't. Choice of optic, but I don't know why you wouldn't go with a 2.5 times when you're in burst mode. It's not as nearly as jarring as it is in auto fire mode. Then we have the 60-round mag because it's the biggest mag, and then we have the high grain rounds for the bullet velocity and damage range. You could go high velocity, but then you're hurting your damage range, and that's just not worth it. So we go with the high grain rounds. Then we move on to the MWIII 762, and really 3, 2, and 1 comes down to preference. Less so with 1 or 2, but the MWIII has the ability to wallbang like everything, which makes it a great weapon to use while also having a competitive time to kill with number 2 and fairly competitive with number 1. So you can wallbang, you have a huge mag, you have 100 rounds, and it's got a great time to kill, and it's got super low recoil. Of course, we have the Quartermaster because no magazine because it's an LMG, and we're not going to we're not going to waste an attachment going down to 75 when it doesn't help ADS enough. It's going to be slow ADS no matter what, and we're not going to increase it and penalize ourselves more. Your choice of optic, of course, Jack Glassless, Corey Eagle's Eye, your favorite thermal, whatever it is. For the barrel, we go with the ST Pyro Heavy Barrel for the bullet velocity and range, recoil control, aim idle sway, and gun kick control. The other heavy barrel does not give you the aim idle sway benefit, it doesn't give you the bullet velocity and range benefit. The light barrel, no, it's an LMG, and the short barrel, no, it's an LMG. Then we go with the Ivanov wood stock for the gun kick control, recoil control, firing aim stability. The other possible stock is the other two possible stocks are gun kick control, firing aim stability, aim walk speed, and movement speed on the Ivanov HSS ergonomic stock, and then the Ivanov bluff heavy gives you gun kick control, recoil control. We're not worried about hip fire and tack spread or sprint to fire speed really, and it hurts firing aim stability. So it comes down to the ergonomic stock and the wood stock. The big difference being that one helps movement speed and one doesn't, but the one that doesn't helps with the gun kick control and recoil control a little bit more. And then the weird thing here is because there's no Bruin heavy, we go with the demo TL20 recoil grip for the extra firing aim stability, especially if we're on the 2.5 times the gun kick control and recoil control. We're kind of taking away that aim idle sway benefit we got earlier. The other option is the MWIII grip, but it doesn't help with the aim firing stability. It does help with ADS. So if you're using the Choreo Eagle's Eye, I would actually go with the MWIII, but because I'm not, because I can't see anything, I'm going with the demo TL20 recoil grip. The Brace LS doesn't help with recoil or gun kick. Neither does the Ivanov ST70, and neither does the TrueTech grip. So moving on to number 2, I think everyone knows what number 1 and number 2 are, and probably in the right order, but number 2 is the STG44. This is how I've been running it. We got the Quartermaster suppressor, self-explanatory. The 7.92 barrel, choose that, or the Heinrich C70 barrel. This has really low recoil, so the 7.92 barrel helps with the aim idle sway, which helps you aim more. And if you look on True Game Data, I believe it actually helps with the recoil, even though it's not listed. And the C70 will give you a little more bullet velocity range without the other added benefits to your aim. But choose between those two barrels. Then, of course, your choice of optic, 50-round drum because it's the largest. But if you're playing like duos, or especially if you're playing solos, go with the 40-round mag, just because you don't need the ammo as much and you won't be as penalized. And then finally, we have the Bruin Heavy Support Grip for the reasons we had it before, but you can choose between that and the DR79 combo stock, which also helps with gun kick control, recoil control, firing aim stability, hurts the ADS and the sprint to fire. Both feel good. The gun solo recoil, I don't think there's much of a difference between the two, and it comes down to preference. And then finally, what everybody expects at number 1, we have the DTIR 30-06. Even though it's received 2 nerfs recently, it's still like no recoil, still got the best overall time to kill for long range, and is a lot of fun to use. With a Quartermaster suppressor, because 40-round mag, because it's the largest, your choice of optic. Then it's between the Extend 10 long barrel and the Sanctum 60 long barrel, but the Extend 10 long barrel, while helping with not helping with recoil control, not a big deal because this gun doesn't have a lot of recoil. So we take the movement speed. Plus, the only negative is hip fire and tack stance spread, which is a close range thing, where here the negative is movement speed, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. There's the other fixer, 1.4 long barrel, but it doesn't help with bullet velocity or range, only recoil control, which this gun does not have a lot of. And then you could go Bruin Heavy Support Grip, of course, or the Rifleman 200 stock, which helps with recoil control, aim idle sway, gun kick control. Hurts ADS and sprint to fire and movement speeds, but not a whole lot. The Markman 3 stock isn't bad either, helps the ADS. This is probably more if you're like on rebirth, so you need that ADS a little more. But it's between those two stocks. The Nimble stock gives you recoil and gun kick control as well. Honestly, the stocks here are pretty good, at least the first 3 are, but the Rifleman 200's been the best, despite that also getting its own specific nerf. So that's going to be our number 1. If you were just here for the builds for the top 5 or just for the top 5, I appreciate you so much for watching. Like I said, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment down below. For the rest of us, we're going to go ahead and jump over to True Game Data. Okay, we're over here on True Game Data. We have all 5 builds loaded in as we were just discussing them. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the combination here. It doesn't really change all too much. You can see the DTIR is way better than everything TTK wise until it drops off, and then it's still pretty competitive. Even when it's the only one that's dropped off, it's still fairly competitive. And then next the STG drops off, and that's why the STG can't be number 1 anyways. That 7 meters is not as important as the whole rest of the range. Then next to drop off is going to be the Holger. The Holger has a little more recoil and is a little slower time to kill, but this easily could have moved way up the list if it weren't for some of the damage ranges or the Pulmiot's ability to wall bang. And then you have the SVA here. The SVA has the furthest drop off, which is another big benefit of it. But it's time to kill once it drops off pretty quickly. There is definitely an argument for the SVA to be higher on this list, but I don't like that it's not that great on full auto because I'm not a big burst person. And the pull me out here too, the wall banging and the large mag, if you got to spray down a quad, gives it a big benefit and why it's number 3. Plus, it drops off the second furthest. And then when you start and get to the longer ranges, like 60 plus, not much is really going to compete with either the pull me out or the DTIR. The SVA does very briefly, and the Holger does a little bit. But pull me out, DTIR, super low recoil, long range time to kill is there. Definitely both really good. We're not as worried about these stats down here as we were in the short range video. Bullet velocity being the biggest one. The pull me out has low bullet velocity, which is weird for an SMG, and the SVA actually has the highest bullet velocity because we built it for that. Well, the Holger 5.56 has the lowest, but the Holger 26 also has that issue. The Holger's biggest issue is that 40 round mag. The bullet velocity in the DTIR is a little bit slow, and the rate of fire is slow, which can be punishing. That's the other big stat here. 472 is by far the lowest. Pull me out's pretty low, and so is the Holger. But overall, these stats aren't super duper important. I mean, I think the only other thing would be reload time, which pull me out. I mean, you got 100 rounds, but 7 seconds is absurd. Everything else reloads way faster. Swap speed's kind of important, and you can see that the STG and the DTIR are at the top of that list. Not as important. The other big benefit of the DTR with it being a battle rifle is it makes your targets flinch more than anything on this list. And like 20% more than anything on this list, or 25% depending on how you want to look at it. But yeah, that's the long range meta as it stands in my mind. I'm certainly no JGod or True Game Data, but I think I do a good job of thinking of this stuff, analyzing this stuff. But let me know what you think down in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out the links in the description, whether it's just checking out True Game Data for yourself or my other socials. I'll go ahead and throw my loadout and my close range video down in the description as well, so go check those out if you haven't already. But I will see you on Urzikstan, Rebirth Island, Vondel, and Fortune's Keep. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.